The inmates of hell will stay there forever?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what you said.
Yeah, khulud, yes.
Khulud.
Khulud, yes.
Oh, now I know. I thought you said hulud or hudud.
Khulud.
Khulud, right? Of course I know. As far as our understanding of the Quran is concerned, fully supported by hadith, the inmates of hell will not live there eternally. A time would come when the hell will be emptied. But the dwellers of heaven would live there everlastingly. So the word khulud, which you used and is also used by the Holy Quran, indicates a very long time. It doesn't mean eternity. That is why the Holy Quran, with reference to the people of the heaven, adds to this expression by saying that this will not come to an end. That is, Jannah will not come to an end. But when it speaks of hell as with khulud, with Khalid, the word Khalidina fiha, for instance, it does not qualify it by saying that that state will not come to an end. In one pair of verses, the hell is described and the inmates of hell are described as Khalidina fiha. In the next verse, Ahl Jannah are described with the same expression of Khalidina fiha. But then is added that it is a jaza which never come to an end. But not in case of this. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله فأما الذين شقوا ففي النار لهم فيها زفير وشهيق خالدين فيها ما دامت السماوات والأرض إلا ما شاء ربك إن ربك فعال لما يريد. This is the expression, very clear. وأما الذين صعدوا ففي الجنة خالدين فيها ما دامت السماوات والأرض إلا ما شاء ربك عطاء غير مجزوز. This final declaration, عطاء غير مجزوز, indicates that although the previous expressions are common to both these verses, this is an additional declaration that Ahle Jannah will live there forever and that Jannah would never come to an end. About this interpretation of the Holy Quran, this particular verse, although it's very clear and understandable, I quote a hadith. Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once described a time when hell will be emptied of all its inmates except the one person who would be the extreme sinner. Beyond that, nobody would have sinned. In the sight of Allah, he would be the worst of sinners. He would be left alone. And the Jahannam would become so empty, as if there is an empty building and nobody is there to bolt the doors and shut them. And with the blowing of wind, they strike and bang against the walls and the, what do you call, wind, against the frame of the door, they shut, they clang and make noises, and this would be the state of Jahannam. Then God would take pity on that single last person and will say, all right, I forgive you, come on, come out of there. You will come out of hell, but yet will not be entered into heaven. So we say, oh Allah, oh my Lord, you have shown such mercy upon me. I know I don't deserve anything, but could I have just a peep into the heaven? Just one peep. So a window will be open and he will say, oh, what a beautiful thing. And they say, a draft maybe, and a draft would come and say, oh, what a lovely draft. And then say, oh God, please, could I just put one step into heaven? Just to see how it looks like. Allah would be playing with it. He said, oh, yes, come on. And when he will put his step, Arase will come in. Those who enter heaven, I never turn them out. The ultimate of Allah's mercy. So how could God's mercy ever design a punishment which could never come to an end? Rahmatullah wasi'a kulla shayn. Yasi'a kulla shayn. Nothing extends beyond this rahmah. So this is the expression, this is the most beautiful promise made to the mankind through Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, explained in such lovely terms. So after that, if somebody insists, no, Jahannam would be eternal, maybe he would like to live there forever, but no, not ordinary human being with common sense would like to interpret that way. Another aspect of this is very important, which must be understood by us all. Suffering and happiness are relative terms. Time by itself doesn't mean anything. Time is related to how we feel. If you are sitting without any occupation, waiting for something, the time does not pass. It seems eternity. You're sitting there only for a few minutes and you feel as if time does not pass. But if you're sitting in a company which you love, it is so, satisfying and rewarding, then the time passes like a duty. I have been always telling you.
We know that.
What do you do that, Why do you bring such a short time with you?
Yes.
So, this is again which must be understood. I believe that hell will be even much shorter than what we think. But the suffering will make it appear so long. You see? Because the suffering, ordinary suffering makes the day so long, people say, as if I have lived an age in this suffering. But what about the hell? A few seconds spent there would look like eternity. So God expresses these things in sometimes parables, sometimes metaphors, sometimes directly in relation to our human psyche, so that we interpret these things in application to our own psyche and our own feeling, how we feel and how we measure time. So personally, I believe that God's mercy would shorten the time of hell, although it says khalidina fiha, but the people of the hell would feel as if they're living there eternally. And about this shortening of space or time, I'll come later, but first let him finish this.
Does this mean to encourage people, they don't fear that?
I'm coming to that. Okay. You see, one more thing we infer from this is in relation to the question asked last night, about the Jannah from which Adam was turned out. If God is that merciful and kind, that even if the worst criminal enters one step into the Jannah, he would not turn him out. How on earth could that God turn Adam out, who was a prophet of Allah, who committed only one little small crime? You see? So it's impossible for him to have been in that Jannah to which we ultimately return.